everybody, how's it going? My name is Curly Bardock, and welcome back to another Showtime Nerds video. I am with my lovely co-hosts, Grimo.
Yeah.
Ralph.
Yes.
Lewis, aka Nova Nuclear.
Who?
You.
Me?
And we have, of course, our special, not so special guest, Zach, aka Cosmic Midnighter.
Heyo.
So, to let you guys know on a little thing that happened today, the boys went to go out and watch Morbius. Probably, what I suggest is probably the worst comic book release in a good long while. So I didn't get a chance to watch it. I had to stay home because I had stuff to do. So they went to go out to watch it. And boys, you come back from the theater, new people. How was the movie?
Does anybody want to start?
I want Zach. I want Zach to start.
We're making Zach start.
I want Zach to
Me,
start.
this is the one time you're gonna hand me the mic and be like, "Go" on the one movie that's like the most out of any
I mean,
movie
you know-
I've ever watched.
I mean, you said
Yeah.
it was okay.
I said
Oh,
it
Yeah.
had
God.
good parts. I didn't
What
say
did
it
he
was
say?
good.
It was.
What did he say?
I said it was okay. I didn't say it was good. I was like, eh.
No,
it had
but
good
you have the
parts,
highest
that's it.
rating out of all of us. I can guarantee you have the highest rating out of all of us.
Okay, no,
if
no,
we
no.
put
But
this
I
on
want
our
to hear
scale.
about your opinions first before I say mine.
That's
then.
exactly why we're saying you go first.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no,
See,
no,
If
no.
you have the highest rating.
Zach is what we call a rebounder. Anytime you give your opinion, he'll try to chameleon himself to it. So we want to hear your opinion,
No,
Zach.
there
Zach,
are some things
no,
I
no, no,
stand
Zach.
firm
I just
on.
want to hear just a couple sentences. What did you think of the movie? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it somewhere in the middle? Let us know.
It was somewhere in the middle. Like, Sony did what they tried to do for Venom, just way sloppier, and like tossed it several times into the Spider-Man universe. Are we talking spoilers or no? I just want to be clear.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Who fucking cares? No one's
where's-
gonna watch this
The-
movie.
That is a valid
The
point. That is a
director
valid
spoiled.
point.
The director
Hey.
spoiled this movie a week before the movie came out. So
That
go
is
ahead.
so fucking stupid. Oh my god. The movie as a whole is just very all over the place. Like, it could have been wrapped up in like an hour and 20 minutes generously. Like, not even that with credits included. Like, all of it. Ugh, that's so. What is the actual runtime of the movie?
An hour and 44 minutes. But
Make a
continue
rating,
saying-
sir.
It needed even less. It needed
Jesus.
less.
Bro, you're like going all over. What's your rating, sir? What do you rate it out
I
of
don't know,
10?
it's-
He's trying to like tiptoe around it.
Jesus
But,
Christ.
like-
This man is like making the most vague
All right,
statement just so he can steal.
All right. Zach, scale from 1 to 10. Let's just give it a scale from 1 to 10. How did you feel about this movie?
6?
6.
All right, guys.
Six
No,
is
don't say
okay.
anything. Oh,
Okay.
Shut up. Cala boca.
Okay.
6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. That's what you said,
6
right?
or 7, depending on how they fix that post-credit scene. But yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
I want to keep that as a mental note. Keep that as a note.
Just breathing in the background.
Zach is a 6 out of
Okay.
10.
What
Alright,
is everybody else's
so
rating?
let's hear the right opinion this time. Let's start with Ralph.
Wow. So I immediately got
Yes.
shot down from saying there's nothing good
No, I
about
want,
this movie.
no, I want, can you let Lewis go first and then I'll say mine? 'Cause I
Sure,
think mine's
Lewis.
gonna
What do you have to say, man?
What is there much to say after what Zach said, bro?
Oh,
A
shut
7.
up.
All right. So my honest review, it honestly looks like one of my videos on YouTube. The transitions were bad. The story did not flow as well. You see that
Whoa,
some-
whoa! Why are you going at yourself, buddy boy? Put some more self-esteem into your videos.
no, because I have no budget, and this film had a 75 million budget, and you're telling me that you can't do a better
I don't- was it
transition
was
than
it
mine?
75? I don't think so.
What was 75?
Check.
Yeah, let me
I-
see. Budget.
But they spent a lot of their budget on.
It
reshoots
was
and stuff.
$75 million. That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
They spent a
And
lot
I
of
have-
their money
I
on
have-
budgets.
I have no budget, and you're gonna tell me that I can do the same transition as you? Are you
True.
kidding me?
That's
Factual,
fucking-
factual. Speak, my brother.
There, this is how I know that this movie was gonna be terrible, because in the beginning of the film, right after you see Morbius getting all his bats, It literally did a transition from a circle and made it bigger. That's how I knew it was bad.
We'll go into the transition later. Hold on, hold on.
Wait.
Hold on,
So
time
are
out.
you
Back it
telling
up, back
me-
it up.
Hold up.
Back it up.
Oh
Ain't no
my
way
God,
they just
yeah.
used the fault.
Bro. We'll talk about that later.
Whoa.
Let's try to get to the rating
We'll
because
talk
that
about
shit
that.
was.
We'll talk about.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the details later. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. All right, let's
Literally-
go into the actual rating.
To continue it, you could tell that scenes were literally cut. Like you felt like there was a missing scene in every part. And not only that,
Oh my
I
God.
felt the characters weren't fully developed. I don't feel we feel a connection for any of these characters. Most of the relationships felt rushed or not really interesting, or like cliche, I guess. It was pretty bad, and to do a whole 360 from what Zach said, it's I don't see no good parts in this film. To be fully plus the post
I'd say
credit
there
scene.
are very specific good parts. I am not saying the whole film. Everything you said, I agree with. I have no qualms with anything you just said. I'm just saying there are specific good parts that it does well, and there's the
Get
only
to
thing
those
that
good
you
parts, and
for.
we're gonna see
get
those
that
good
later.
parts. When
All right. We'll get
But
into that later.
I give this film a good 2 out of 10.
2 out of
Wow.
10. That's
Okay. That's reasonable.
Think
Rap,
that's
do
the
you want to
first
go
time we've
first, or
gone
do you
below
want
5?
me to go
No,
next?
I want to go first.
All right, go for
well,
it.
this is you
This
going,
movie
'cause
was
you're going
so
third.
fun. This movie was so fun for me because it was so bad.
Oh my God.
It was just so bad. I was sitting there in the movie theater. I was whispering to Lewis, like, "Yo, this is definitely gonna happen. This is definitely gonna happen. I'm calling it right now." And then it actually happened in the worst way possible. It was so funny. Like, overall, I give it like a 0.5 because all the characters were dry as hell. The relationship, the trailer,
I don't believe it's a
Not even a
0.5.
1?
Jesus Christ.
no, not even a
I
one.
wouldn't
All the
go that
characters,
low.
literally all
I'd
the
stick more with
characters.
Lewis's then.
Literally all the characters were backstabbing, like backstabbing each other, and a lot of the relationships, the core relationships of the movie, were completely undermined. You didn't know where it comes from, and then they bank on it. Like they're literally banking on their relationships for you to have emphasis on backstory. Like their whole relationship between him and the villain, they're banking on that for suspense.
Which is it's Matt Smith, right?
yeah.
Yes.
They're banking on the
Yeah.
relationship for suspense. That's the only thing they're banking it on. They don't even say things like, "Oh my God, we were best friends," until they're dying.
Yeah.
They only say that shit. They don't say that shit in the middle of the fight or like before they start fighting.
Yeah, you don't
And Jared
really see,
Leto's
like, any of
character is
those-
literally Jared Leto's character from the beginning is like, I'm a good person. But it starts with it, he doesn't say that. He's like starts with the bat thing, anything to save a life, right? And then he goes on to say, but I'm a good person. All they literally don't even show him saving a life.
So what you're telling me is that Morbius is toxic.
And
Yeah.
also,
Morbius is stupid.
bro, not only did they fail to show him saving a life, he put a girl in an induced coma. So like,
Yo, facts.
Yeah.
That is actual
That's
fact.
Alright.
taking that out of context. He does that to like prevent her from dying.
yes, but it's
Give
still
some
like,
context to that shit.
no, but like,
Oh, okay,
but the thing is,
okay.
all right. So the thing is, right. So she started like having an intense fever from her body not being able to handle everything she's going through. So Morbius is like, you know what? The only thing we could do is put her in a coma. Put her in a coma right now. Overdose her on. I forgot what it was, but they overdosed her on some
It
shit,
doesn't
and
matter
she
what
was
it
in,
was.
yeah,
No,
and she fell into a coma immediately. And then we never see her come back up. Like we never see her again. So it's like, did it even work?
So as far as you know, she's still in that coma.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As far as
That's
the
true.
story could tell, she's either in the coma or dead. So at the end of the day, he didn't save anybody.
And not
That's
only
true.
that, they tried to make him like a good person, but all he's done was illegal things.
Yeah.
He does his experiments illegally. He beats up police officers illegally. He runs away.
Okay, hold on.
breaks-
What's the
Actually, I
legal
don't think
way
he
of
beats
beating a
up the-
police
well,
officer?
Yeah.
The legal way would be like self-defense, because there are
Yeah.
some cops that could be that, but he just plain attacks everybody. But anyways, all right,
Yeah.
you guys ready for my rating?
I don't think I
Yeah,
am.
here we go.
I think I already know
Alright,
what it's gonna be.
I don't think you can go any lower than Raph.
He's gonna give it like a
Hey,
negative
alright,
number.
so-
He's gonna give it a
5.
negative number.
All right, so I I always give 2 ratings. One that I say from a comic book fan, as someone seeing it, expecting stuff from the comic book, and one as a fan that just wants to enjoy the movie. As a movie enjoyer, I give it a 4 out of 10, and that's being
4 out of
generous.
10.
As a movie goer, because the movie itself, it had some things that you could consider it a movie.
When the
But it-
credits rolled, you had your
Yeah,
face in your hands.
but that's as a comic book lover. As a comic book lover, I give this movie I give this movie a negative infinity, bro. This shit was so trash. This shit. Oh my god, there was like
This
oh,
man.
what? Bro, I was
This man really
sweating.
giving negative
I was
infinity.
sweating. I was stressing. I felt like a fucking one of those people that bet money on like fucking horse races and they see their horse just getting like annihilated from the beginning. There was no chance.
Oscar from was it from like Will Smith played him. What's the movie
Oh
called?
yeah, Shark Tale.
Oh,
Yeah,
Where his fucking
yeah.
seahorse trips on air.
Yeah, yes, and then he fucking yes, that's exactly how, bro.
Oh,
I
shit.
think I have like 4 white hair. I think I have 20 now or more. That's how bad it was because
Yeah.
like I was waiting for it to get better as a fan. Like as a fan, I was looking at it and I'm like, please do something better. And then they continue to make it worse.
You know, it's honestly a shame because I remember having really cool memories of Morbius from like the Spider-Man animated series
Yeah.
where
Yes.
he's like
Very good.
he's just straight up like he's not like an amazing person, but he's an interesting character. And
He draws the gray line between being a hero and a villain. He's not an anti-hero. He's not a pure villain. He's that
Because
one
he's-
person that's like Doofenshmirtz. They're trying to
he's just trying to help. He's just trying to fix his condition.
yes.
And it's like
This is such a goddamn departure from that, though.
this,
Yeah, exactly. He's the opposite of Doofenshmirtz. Doofenshmirtz, in theory, he wants to hurt the world for hurting him, but he ends up somehow helping the association that Perry the Platypus works for. The same thing with Morbius. He wants to save everything or his condition and help people, but he ends up being a fucking evil vampire.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a shame because I feel like what Sony is doing is that they're pulling a DC and instead of trying to make standalone good, great movies, they're
They
trying to
grab
push these
DC.
movies out that are
Right.
just making it into this convoluted universe that frankly I don't think anyone asked for. And I think that's the main thing I want to talk about. It's just that why do we need these big universes for these movies? We don't. And it's just
Money.
sure, but like it's
They
silly
lost
to think
money
that
making this movie.
they're gonna lose so
Yeah.
much money making this movie.
They're gonna
They
lose
are.
even more credibility. They had so much cred after Spider-Man: No Way Home,
They
and now
didn't.
they've
No
literally
way.
burned it all.
No,
No, they had no credit.
The
It
pro-
was
okay.
mostly that we give credits to more.
something
That's
that
what-
Lewis mentions in his last video, talking about how Sony messed up, was that the only reason why I think Spider-Man is good is because Marvel Studios was involved. They were like the course correction, trying to make sure everything stayed in line. And that's just it. I feel like if you leave Sony to their own devices, they don't know how to make a good movie.
The only fantastic hit that Sony has made, like in terms of superhero films, has been Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse by themselves.
Yeah.
That's the only movie that they pulled off fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because it had nothing to do with Sony to begin with. They just funded it. Pretty sure.
Yeah, you had no idea it was a Sony movie, to be honest.
I feel like it's like sort of like game publishers, how like different studios will be published under a specific name. That's what Into the Spider-Verse was.
Yeah. Like because with the Sony games, most of them are fantastic, but they're not directly ran by Sony. They're just like companies that Sony owns and they do their own thing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because when you experience games like God of War, for example, God of War 4 was a phenomenal game, right? Oh, also we got to do some gameplay for the Ragnarok hype.
Yes,
But
sir.
anyways,
Yeah.
continuing,
for that.
right? Continuing because like God of War Ragnarok looks fantastic, man. And then we have games like the original Infamous 1, Infamous 2 with Cole. Those were fantastic. We have Uncharted, and we have so many good games with good storylines, and seeing them not be able to progress well in movies, it's sort of like, what are you like? Who is running the movie studios? who's in charge of that? Because they don't know how they want to run stuff.
And I think it's like it goes back to what it is with like what Zach said. It's really just about money and seeing if they could get away with making these B dog shit movies and eventually converting it
being
into this
generous.
expanding like universe. Really, if they made Morbius interesting, it just adds to the Spider-Man like I guess IP that they own for movies. Because if they made this movie actually good, then it's more chips in their favor for, you know, to work with Marvel Studios on different projects, to have more leverage in talks with Disney. But no, they decide that anything that it does not have the word Spider-Man directly on it is dog shit. And that's just
Deserves dog
unfortunate.
shit quality, apparently. Like,
You know
god
what's
damn.
you know what's the worst part? I don't know if you guys have seen Unbreakable, Split, and Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
But
I have, yes.
that trilogy of movies has a better story and a
Oh my
better
God.
like universe, like tiny universe than Sony ever has.
So-
And that's
Grim-
fucking
Grim,
hilarious.
They have more creative imagination in their goddamn pinky than the entire thing of Sony has.
Like
It is a
it's
company.
just incredible how
ridiculous.
like yeah, like Unbreakable isn't even an IP superhero. I mean, now obviously because of his movies he is, but like he's not from anything else. He's not from comics, he's not from a book. He's just a character that was made for fun for a movie. And
Shyamalan did it, right?
what?
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan came up with that, and
Yeah.
it's just like he
That's
built
all
this
of
whole
my-
universe
he-
that's better than
Oh
what
wait,
we
the
just
same
watched.
dude that made the Avatar movie that doesn't
Yeah.
exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, man, God help Sony.
Again,
That's so
I'd even
bad.
say
If
Avatar,
he-
as shit
if
as it was
he
kind of
was
better than
able to
this.
Hold on. I
Just
want
what?
I want Zach to explain something real fast. I actually want to talk about because I didn't watch this movie. What did you find good about it? What was something that actually piqued your interest from this movie? Because I
The
know a
very
lot of people
few
found
parts-
some scenes to be cool.
Grim brought it up. It's like as a general movie, it's good, but from like we all have a comic book perspective. This is complete shit. You watched
I
the
wouldn't-
animated series of Spider-Man, and I
You're
did too.
putting
I
words
loved
in his
I
Morbius,
mouth.
wouldn't
and
hold on,
it was
time
amazing.
out. Hey,
I think
time
you're
out.
putting words in
Hold
his
this
mouth.
Hey, put your words out of your mouth.
No,
Put
I'm
your
just saying
words
that
out of
any
I
normal
think the
movie
best
goer-
way to say that is get his fucking name out your goddamn mouth.
But listen. I didn't say it was good. It was just average, like itself.
Yeah, it
As a
was.
movie,
As a
it was
movie, it
average.
was average.
Yeah.
Which is
But-
why I give it a 6. That's very generous.
No,
Like,
no, because I
because
wouldn't give it
things
anything past
visually, that's
5.
it.
I wouldn't get because like once we get to it, the transitions, man, that shit was
Yeah,
terrible.
they
That
go-
was like a 5th grader trying to do a presentation type of
Man, let him just be
transition.
positive, bro. We're trying to be positive here.
No, but
Oh
but
shit! Right.
Positively
things to
negative?
say.
Yeah.
Because Lewis said it too. There were scenes that were literally cut from one point to another, and they
We're
had
trying to
no
stay positive
fucking
here.
bearing. Dude, no, but my point about being positive is that any normal moviegoer would be like, all right, that was cool, that was okay, that was cool. And all of us think this is complete shit because of how we perceive Marvel movies and comic book movies.
No.
This is just like to any normal person, Joe Schmo, this is just an average movie. It's like, okay, whatever.
Hold on, time out.
I
What the fuck did he just say?
What is Joe Schmo?
Yeah, who the
Any
fuck is
average
that?
guy, like any average random person, would just be like, okay, this is an okay movie, like whatever. They would walk away from it not really impressed, but not hating it. We all hate it because it like basically ruins
No.
a really great character for most of us.
No, for me as a moviegoer, because I watch a lot of movies within the year, and I see this as a own movie because I already knew most of the comic stuff before because the director spoiled it, so I wasn't really going as a comic fan. I'm going as a movie fan, and me just sitting down in this movie, I have no idea what's going on. It was too fast paced where I literally thought the movie was about to end, and they kept going and keep beating that dead horse. Not only
Yeah,
that,
there's a part in the middle where Matt Smith and Jared Leto like literally have a fight, and I'm like, okay, is this gonna be where they actually settle their differences? No, let's fucking drag it out. So yeah, I get what you're saying with that.
so
I
as a normal moviegoer, I don't think people. I see what you're saying that it could be like an average movie, but I think most people will literally rate this a little bit lower if they're an average moviegoer.
I think,
Like
in
what Grim
my
says.
opinion, it's hard to give the argument of like, oh, but if you treat this as a regular movie, no, you treat it with the same movies in the exact same genre. This is
No, but
a
the-
superhero action movie, which
Yeah,
means
but
you
like-
compare it to other superhero action movies.
Yeah, but disconnecting it from, again, like I said, the
Oh, they
Unbreakable
disconnected
universe.
so much.
Yeah, like even disconnecting it from the Unbreakable movies, it has some watchable things. It's just overall the story is just not the best. Like for example, Jared Leto's. All right, this is gonna be positive, right? Jared Leto was giving his best, even with the worst script you could give someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of the lines he said in my mind, I'm like, who the fuck read that and thought that was a good idea to say out loud? But
Who the hell would say it?
exactly.
That's
Exactly. But the way he said it though, the way he said it was different. Which it's like, okay, like obviously the line was terrible, but Jared Leto being the amazing actor that he is, he fucking carried what he could carry. But when you give a man a pebble to carry, there's not much to carry anyways, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he was giving it his all, and I fucking give him props because when he was dangling upside down, screaming and tearing, like not every actor could do that, right? He was giving his fucking best, and I'm glad that he did. Now, sadly, obviously, the script itself was just never gonna be good, but at least he did what he had
My
to do as an
choreography was
actor.
dog shit too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it really was. They put more into CGI and like special effects of them fucking throwing each other around than they did the ever fighting.
My question is to you guys: what is one thing, like as a collective, that you felt like would have just made this movie better? Do you think, besides the shitty
rewrite.
visual, do you think
Script.
that having a better script would just made this movie much more bearable?
I have one suggestion.
and
Take the
it
script
would bring my
and
rating
fucking
up to
burn
an
it,
average.
because
Hold
that
up,
was
can
just
hold
a
up.
waste.
Say that again, Zach.
My one suggestion is take the script and fucking burn it, because that was a waste of 75 million and all of the actors' time and effort. Because it was just not, like Grim said, it was just not good to begin with. Like, what the hell? But other than that, the thing, like, everybody that did their own specific thing, they did to the best of their ability. It was just bad from the beginning. In terms of just a storyline. Like, you could have had Morbius as a love interest or some shit where he was fighting to contain his humanity. He wasn't doing any of that. He was literally having a brawl with his childhood best friend. That was it.
In terms of expectations, and maybe the rewrite did something about it, but like having to do reshoots, I don't know what we have no idea what that's for, right? But them coming after right after Spider-Man No Way Home led a lot of questions and a lot of expectations that this movie was hoping to answer, which it doesn't, by the way. It doesn't at all. If anything, it answers some questions, but leaves you wondering
more questions than answers.
no, yeah, but that main question is why the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's talk about the post-credit scenes.
Ooh, where do you want to start?
Well,
I want to finish my thought.
I have no idea.
Go
ahead, Rob.
So my main thing is that if they didn't come off the expectation of Spider-Man No Way Home, if they kind of released it in between Venom and Spider-Man, I'd say this movie would be at least like rated a little bit higher, and maybe the script would be different because they changed the rewrites a lot. They changed a lot from the script because of the Spider-Man questions. They changed a lot. They cut out a lot of scenes from the trailers because of Spider-Man, because of the Spider-Man hype. So maybe I guess that had something to do with it. Maybe there were better scenes in there than originally planned for. So I'd say like if it came out before Spider-Man No Way Home, then it could have been better.
Yeah, the post-credit scenes banked a lot on just having that connection and making it relevant through that connection. So like, we're gonna spoil it. The whole entirety of like the ending of No Way Home and all that happened throughout that whole thing bled into Morbius and like basically dropped some random character, kind of how Eddie got dropped in randomly, might I add, for no goddamn reason, and then brought somehow they're supposed to get to Spider-Man's universe, technically, like Tom Holland's universe.
Yeah,
I can get some random one.
I can guarantee you this was the reshoot. I can guarantee you that the post-credit scene had something to do with the reshoot. I can guarantee it.
Well, they cut most of his scenes. They cut most of the scenes from the movie.
No, because the
why are we hiding it? It's Adrian Toomes. It's Michael Keaton's Adrian Toomes. We're not hiding it. It's a spoiler review.
He was in the trailer, which I might add, the trailer does not actually show his scene. That is. It's not even.
Like
it doesn't even
snippet.
exist.
It showed you a snippet of it, and that's it.
It's not even the same thing. It's not even
Yeah,
the
they
same
changed it
sequence
even.
of events.
They even changed that. They even changed a simple scene of him turning, and they changed it to
They
of
took
him
out the
turning,
goddamn
but in a
Spider-Man
different way.
image. There's nothing. There's nowhere even relevant of that. All we have to go on context is that somehow it's connected to Venom, which I don't get. I don't even get in the slightest how that's relevant. But that's
I
a
mean,
whole different argument and
the,
conversation.
the thing is, to me, is not headcanon that it's connected to like to Venom. Because, all right, look,
It
how are
sounds like
you?
they dubbed it.
What do you
It
mean?
sounds like they dubbed over. It sounds like when he's saying we are Venom. It sounds like it literally like if you're looking at how he's mouthing the word, it doesn't like look like he's saying Venom at all. Like it literally looks like it sounds like they dubbed over it and said Venom
Yeah,
in that gang
like
scene.
even though like the director said it's in the Venom verse and all that, you were still a little bit confused because they only give you like slight mentions that it is in the Venom verse, but if you take those verses out, be like, what is this actually? And not only that, to continue on the post credit scene, Adrian Toomes enters this new universe and he tells Morbius, "Let's team up on Spider-Man." But Morbius does not know who Spider-Man is,
Yeah, and,
or
like
Spider-Man in general.
yeah,
Spider-Man in general.
that's the problem. Like, right? So let's assume that this is in the Venom universe, as they quote unquote said, right? If this was in the Venom universe, then first of all, the only other character that there is in this entire universe is Venom and the other symbiotes that got beaten, and Carnage, of course. So technically, there's never been any other characters outside like the Venom verse that's touched on this land itself, right? And Morbius appears, and they're not even treating Morbius as one of like the Venom type hero slash anti-hero type of thing. They're like categorizing Morbius as his own thing. Which, if it's already in a developed land where Venom already exists, someone would be like, "Oh, is Morbius the next Venom?" Or some. They would do something to compare them because again, these are the only two super powered beings in the entire verse. So how the fuck does nobody like even categorize them as the same thing as Venom? They're all just like ignoring Venom entirely, ignoring that whole tobacco happened, right? Because I don't know how you could ignore someone spiking through a whole city, but and then at the end they just say, "All right, it's all connected," even though Morbius has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah,
Eh,
it's just like you can tell that it takes place so far after it. But the actual suit itself, like how do you even get to that? How do you like where
Oh yeah, like
the
Toombs'
CGI
suit.
for it
How
is
the
good.
hell?
So I want to talk about the positive of this movie. The CGI is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Like
but
the actual detail of the CGI is really really good, and the action sequences too. Like that's the only thing you're really paying attention to in the action sequences, not the shit fight choreography.
yeah,
But
like
yeah,
their faces look great. Their fighting is actually pretty good. Special effects, all that stuff is pretty decent. Like that's
eh,
about it though.
I
but the
disagree with the
fighting
face.
itself is terrible.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I
They're
disagree with the
throwing each
face.
other
I
around like
think they could have done
ragdolls.
better. I think they could have
What do you
done better
think?
with the. I think they could have done better with the face, especially when they're like standing still or in light. Like they could have done better with the face because some moments like you don't really like the face. It looks weird. It looked like from that guy from I Am Legend zombie if he's just skinnier and bonier.
Well, that's what they're supposed to be. They put Morbius. I think Jared Leto's Morbius looks good. Matt Smith's could be better, but like I think Jared Leto's is
I'm
pretty
putting
okay
I'm putting
for
them as
what it
both.
is.
I'm putting them as both because I think they could have done a little bit better on the faces. But besides that, I do agree with the CGI was pretty good. Some of the motions were fine.
Can we please talk about the action because that
Wait,
was so
hold on.
shit.
Wait. Before we get to the action, because I also have a thing on the CGI. I think it was wonderful. I think it was in like there was no research whatsoever to it. They just wanted something to look cool. Which again, it looked nice, but what the fuck does all this smoke and all this like fucking smell type of aura have to do anything with how sonar vision works? First of all, sonar is like the way that sonar works in bats, which isn't in all bats because that's an entire myth. Some bats have it, not all of them do. Um, the way that the sonar works is that they emit an audio wave, which is circular and round, that goes out, touches a certain object, and bounces back. So what the fuck does like making buildings smoky have to do anything with how he sees? It almost looks like Wild Mud in Ben 10 when he's trying to like smell people through his gills, and it's like that is not at all the same ability, not whatsoever. So it feels like they did no research on what the fuck they're trying to talk about, but they just wanted to make it look cool, to make people ignore what happened.
I think they took a page out of like Marvel's book and decided to take some creative license with that area, because Morbius generally like doesn't really like do any of that. He's kind of like Daredevil, where he doesn't have the echo in mind location kind of thing. He just kind of knows it. He like can feel his surroundings better, I guess. But yeah, I agree. It's a
That's not
little
the direction
off,
that they're
but
taking, though.
Yeah,
what do
it's
you mean?
like it's
They're literally like, I can see with my ears.
yeah, exactly. And the way he sees is through what to me looks like more smell type than sound type, because sound doesn't travel in spiky waves. Sound travels in circular motion.
I don't like that analogy, but I get where you're coming from with it. But yeah, like they took creative license. I'll give them a pass for that because they decided to do their own thing. Whatever. We don't need to be
Let's
that
talk about the
descriptive about that.
let's talk about the action. How predictable it was, how funny it was. It was really, really funny for me. Like
Also,
predicting
Yes.
that the bats would come in, I literally tapped. Like Lewis looked at it, like, why the fuck did he just scream there? I'm like, yo, the bats are coming in.
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, he's gonna summon a bunch of bats or some shit's gonna happen with them.
My thing about that is that if you're thinking about it like from any other common sense, doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
That the bats would listen to him and not Matt Smith, unless you literally said like, I don't even know Matt Smith's name. What is it, Milo?
Yeah,
my-
so
Yeah.
Milo
Well,
or
his
Lucian,
name,
whatever you
yeah,
wanna call
his
him.
real name is Lucian, but
So
Morbius called him
who is the
Milo
actual
in the
villain
first novel.
of what is Matt Smith's like comic book like counterpart?
I don't think he has
It's
one.
Hungar.
Hungar? What is that?
I think that's his name.
That's the-
Hungar.
That's exactly how it's pronounced. Hungar.
If I
I
remember
have
correctly,
no
it's
idea who
Hungar.
this guy is.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, I'm about to just Hungar.
Yeah, like it's just so funny, especially when they did the Hami. Like it was literally so
There's a
funny.
Kamehameha in this?
Yeah,
Yes.
they
Yes.
actually
The
the
bats
bats surround
yeah.
him.
Oh my!
The bats surround him, and then he's like,
He
bah!
basically flings them at them.
Wait,
Yeah,
It's like-
so he actually
it wraps
so what he
itself around
does
his hand too.
hold up.
so he's touching no. Let me give you a visual description because you didn't watch the movie, right? So he's in this like fucking destroyed underground like sort
Subway,
of like
I guess.
yeah subway station, right? And everything is destroyed, everything's ruined, and the bats are all over him, almost like a light of beam, but it's just bats. And so out of nowhere, he takes his arm, he puts it out, right? And fucking I don't know how, but fucking Matt Smith is coming in slow motion, even though he has the speed of a bat. He's coming in slow motion as fucking Morbius is caressing the bats, right? He's just calmly caressing them, and then out of nowhere, he decides to put his right hand like underwards, his left hand upwards, almost like creating that Kamehameha type of explosion. A bat decides to go inside, like telecommunication. They all start wrapping around like in a little ball, and then he actually just throws the bat at fucking Lucian, and then it blasts. It somehow right. It's bats, but it somehow blasts him all the way to the back.
Wow,
Yeah.
this movie sounds
Yeah, and then when he
phenomenal.
falls, right. When he falls, Jared Leto's character literally goes on top of him and he jabs him with whatever, the injection thing. The injection does not go in.
Syringe.
The syringe does not even go in. Keep in mind, it's just on him. And then Matt Smith's character is like, "No, you can't kill me," and then he dies.
Yeah.
I'm
that's exactly
unkillable.
what
Dies.
happened. Yeah. Dude,
No, it's not
also,
even like
they-
you can't kill me. Like it's not like you can't kill me because I'm invincible. It's like you can't kill me because we're friends.
Yeah.
Through the power
And then
of
he dies.
That they
friendship.
don't build it. They don't
Pretty
build
much,
it.
yeah. They built it up too a lot. Like in that little moment, they built up so much. Oh, you're my best friend. Dies. Like literally, he just breathes the last grasp of air and then just exits the stage right. Like literally,
they
nothing happens out of that.
They say, "Oh, but we're best friends," like twice, and then you just kind of like, "Okay, I guess."
So yeah, it's like what you said back then with like the lack of like true relationships and actual
Oh, and
character.
Oh, Lewis, and the romance with him and I don't even know her name. The
No,
doctor?
does not matter. It does not. Oh,
No, it was so funny because all of a sudden, like, there's literally like it doesn't. To be honest with you, it doesn't really seem like there's chemistry. Like doesn't really seem like
Yeah,
there's chemistry
like at
between them.
all.
And then like all of a sudden they're just like literally out of nowhere they're hanging out. He smells blood. He's like, "No, I don't want to kill her. No, I don't want to kill her." And then like all of a sudden they kiss, and then he
Wait.
turns her into a vampire.
Can I give reference to that?
Yeah.
So, Kate, my girlfriend, for those of you who don't know, she was watching it with us, and she told me how that scene reminded her of a Twilight, the moment where
Oh God.
Edward
Yeah.
Edward's like
Ugh.
he smelled what's her name? Huh?
Emma.
Bella.
What?
No, Bella. Where he smelled Bella and
Yeah.
then he's like, "Oh, I don't want to kill her. I don't want to kill." And it's like she told me it's the exact same thing. Just this time it was
I
more corny.
remember.
If we had to compare this to Twilight, I swear to God,
No. Twilight's
Oh my
better,
God.
guys.
Yeah,
Twilight's
honestly, it
better.
is. At least it's correct to the source material. God damn it.
Fair enough.
Oh my God, dude. And to the one point that Grim brought up about the Kamehameha, they do it too with the freaking punch that Matt Smith throws Jared Leto across a subway station, and it looks like he's like energy blasting him across, which
Oh
makes
yeah, and
zero sense.
oh yeah, and they put speedster scenes in this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of
it
a
was in
sudden
the
he can
trailer, wasn't
fly.
it?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he can fly.
Oh yeah, and
That
he
was
flies
also in the
the
trailer. So
he's on a-
basically,
Yeah.
I know the movie
oh.
already from the trailer.
No. But there's
kind
even
of.
one even
Yeah.
stupider part. You want to talk about action scenes? Jared Leto goes onto this basically like giant stairwell that has like a ceiling open area all the way to the roof. He basically flings himself up, like jumps up over the stair levels, and the cop that's chasing him is like, go around the back, secure the building.
Dude, that
And he
cop's
literally
got speed, bro.
within the
It's
span of
fact.
2 minutes, the
Yo,
man
you can go up
goes
that
many
20
stairs?
flights of stairs,
Yo,
20
it was
flights
a
of
good
stairs,
60
and just
flights.
Bro,
A good
no,
60.
and the funny thing is not regular stairs. If you saw the scene itself, those are like stairs that like sort of like snake around a
yes,
whole tube.
exactly. So you're just
So
running.
yeah, so he's not going up one set of stairs that's just straight up. He's literally going around, and he catches up to a guy that was fucking
That
basically
flew.
Hulk jumping. No, he wasn't flying because he had to grab onto the ledge. He was Hulk jumping, which is worse because that shit is
Oh my
fast as hell.
Do you remember
No,
his reference to the
God.
Hulk though? He said, "You only like me when I'm hungry."
yeah,
Like what
yeah.
the hell?
Bro, and you know what? All right, first of all, the two detectives were probably the worst detective in history.
Yeah,
How the fuck
really.
do you have? How the fuck do you have Roman Pierce and Jose Gordon on the fucking case, and nobody could fucking heal or like solve anything? It is the
Oh
worst
God.
fucking cop chemistry I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was just badly. Like, don't get me wrong, they as actors weren't bad. That was just poorly like set up for
There's
them.
like no chemistry at all between
Yeah.
anybody.
And what is it? Also the stupid scene on the same time period too. Jared Leto's on the roof, and somehow the wind is somehow flinging him backwards as if he's in a goddamn hurricane. Like I thought,
Yeah, that was
is this
so funny.
motherfucker really just flinging his arms
He
about?
can Hulk jump like 30 flights of stairs, and then he gets swung by the wind, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm
Yes.
gonna fall."
And then the guy points, and when he finally rightens himself, the guy points his gun at him after running up 20 flights.
He's
of
like, "Okay,
stairs
I give up."
somehow. Oh
But he
my
didn't.
god, this is so
This-
badly
The
written.
most stupidest thing I found from that scene when he gets like arrested and stuff is that why didn't he do that in the first place? He literally is about to get arrested. He beats up the cops, runs away
He
just so
doesn't
he
run
can
for
get
the
arrested.
door.
Yo,
He doesn't
facts.
run for the door. He runs for the stairs.
I can.
Yeah.
This sounds so lovely.
No, all right, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna add to what you guys are saying, right? So when he escapes out of prison, his first instinct was to jump out, regardless of what happens to him, right? That's his first instinct. But then when he's a top and fucking Roman Pierce from Fast and Furious catches up at the speed of Fast and Furious, it fucking like his instinct is not, oh, let me let the wind that's clearly pushing me take me and hopefully I survive. It's to, oh, you know what? I beat up all these people. Let me take charge now as a responsible person.
So your first instinct was to run. Why the hell are you conceding now?
Yeah,
When you
Yeah.
have a gun to your head, and you can dodge, and the motherfucker can dodge bullets, mind you, because
yes.
we saw it right off the bat. So what the hell?
And
this doesn't make shit
he
sense.
could literally like take the gun. I don't know if you guys seen the videos on TikTok of the police officer or like the guard that's like the takes down the gun from like people trying to like shoot him, quote
Yeah,
unquote. Yeah,
Yeah.
he damn well could do that technique because he's super fast. And you're telling me Roman Pierce from Fast and Furious just said, "Fuck it, give me your fucking life now. You're under arrest." Like what? What?
Yeah, this is so. It's again, it's not the actors, it's the goddamn writing. That's why I said earlier.
It's also
burn
funny how
the
there's more
goddamn
bats that come
script.
out of the. It's also funny how like there's more bats that come out
There's
of like that hole
more
that they made.
bats?
There's more bats that come out of the hole than there actually were in the cage.
Yeah, like
I don't think those are bats from the
for-
cage.
For reference, they're in Morbius's lab when he's trying to like figure out how to make the serum that turns him into the vampire thing. He has like a container of bats, but this is like probably like I'm gonna be generous, say like 200 maybe at most. This is like
What?
in the end scene, it's like 2,000 maybe
Okay.
more,
Damn
and it's like
Yeah.
where the fuck did they all come from?
Dude, this
No,
movie
no. The thing
sounds
is,
so
no.
good.
The thing is, I'm gonna give him. The benefit of the doubt. I'm thinking that maybe those are just bats in general from New York as a
Hopefully,
whole.
hopefully.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Because the thing is, the ones in his lab can't escape whether he wants, like, because he has them trapped, so they wouldn't be able to. Because the only way to go inside is through outside. So I'm pretty sure it's not those. I'm pretty sure that the reference was that it was supposed to be bats from like all over New York. But the problem is they're so bad at explaining why things happen that you just see bats coming out. Like the whole movie felt like if you're reading a bat essay where there's no topic sentences, there's no transitional sentences, you're just reading the claim and the evidence. Morbius could fly. Shows a scene of Morbius flying. How the fuck did he get there? We don't know. He
Also,
just
to the
he
thing
just
about
flies.
to the thing about you were saying about smoke, he literally just holds up his hand as Milo's running at him with in slow motion, mind you, and he's like, "Oh my god, I can feel the wind on my face, beautiful," and then just gets taken by the subway car in front of pushing him along with the heat.
For someone with super
blast.
speed, like they're literally flying insanely fast. The train beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The train was going normal speed. Like it's literally going in human perspective, the same speed. And then for some reason, Matt Smith is running in slow motion.
Yep.
And they don't
Morbius
really
is
explain
somehow,
Matt Smith's.
moving just that much faster, and
They
then
don't
gets
even
hit
show
by-
Matt Smith turning into a vampire. They literally just say,
Yeah.
"Oh shit, it's missing."
And yeah, and that was the dumbest like lead up thing because he leaves behind a cane. What the hell?
We didn't even see the cane.
And we didn't
We
even
di-
see the cane get left
Hey,
behind.
I didn't. Yeah, I
This
didn't
was
even.
the shit.
I honestly, a lot of the movie, I felt like, wait, did I just fall asleep with my eyes open? Because a lot of it felt like I missed something.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
always
You
like
could,
that.
no. And ask Lewis and Raph. I was glued to the screen because I was forcing myself to stay up for those fucking $44 that I spent for my girlfriend and I to see this fucking movie. So I'm gluing myself to the screen so I do not miss a moment. And it still felt like I was like blinking through the most important scenes.
Every 20 minutes, he sat up just a little bit more.
Yeah. It's not
And then
only
by
that,
the
they-
end of the film, he was like leaning over the edge, just trying to watch.
Yeah, about to pitch himself over the edge of the thing because God, that's oh.
the worst part.
No, after you, Lewis.
I was gonna say the worst part of this is that they don't even explain Matt Smith's powers because they literally show that they have different set of power, but why? They took the same antidote. They took the
They kind of just
same.
nerfed him, yeah.
No,
They
they don't
literally-
even say that they have the same powers. Like Matt Smith can hear the same that Morbius can. It's like it just seems like Morbius is way more like OP for some stupid reason, even though exactly like you said, they took the same goddamn serum.
Yeah, but like, why? Why is he having different powers? Why is he stronger? They're gonna say like, oh, it's
If
because of the
anything-
blood. It's
if
they're
anything,
literally
like-
say it's blood.
Yeah, they're gonna say it's like because of the artificial blood. They're literally gonna say that. But
Yeah,
if
but the-
anything, because of the vampire thing, they're saying he was at his most powerful when he took the pure blood.
No, but that's the stupid part. Because remember, the whole thing is that at the beginning he sucked the blood of the mercenaries, of the 7 mercenaries. So that's like what he said. It was like 48 gallons of blood in a human, and he ate 7 and
There's 12 pints of blood.
12 pints of blood, right, in an entire human, and he drank 7 of those. Because remember, at the beginning, he actually killed the mercenaries. So not only is that completely false, because he first was in contact with human blood, but also he drank more than Matt Smith's character in the entire film. So how are you telling me that this is like going on?
It's factual.
Like it's,
Oh, yeah,
I
and the
watched the
trailer has-
entire movie with every single fucking scene in my mind because, like I said, I thought I was like I somehow felt like I was sleeping through some scenes, and I try to remember the entire thing, but that can't be an excuse because he drank human blood at the beginning. They even try to send them to prison because of that.
Yes, in that stupid rooftop scene. And there's another part because Matt Smith, no, not Matt Smith. I'm sorry, Jared Leto gets questioned by Roman Pierce's character. I don't remember what the detective's name was. It was that forgettable.
But-
he gets questioned by him in a trailer I clipped because I vividly remember he's like, "Where have you been for 2 months?" That shit never comes up. That's how you know that this thing got reshot like 6 different times and it still came out looking like this.
It's strange because we keep seeing this with delays where like it keeps getting worse and worse, and this is why another example of this is the New Mutants. They had so many delays and it made it terrible, and now with Morbius, it's pretty much gone. And I don't know how else we can word this, but Morbius is just terrible.
I think, in all honesty, it's just a darn shame what they did with this movie, and hopefully this is a very valuable lesson to Sony to please stop fucking trying to make a universe. You first have to learn how to make good movies. Period.
The money went to the CGI.
Step your shit up. God damn it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a good place to wrap it up. I'm pretty sure everyone got their grievances out in the air, out in the open.
One last thing. As a person that wants to see Sony thrive, Sony, you have great villains in the Spider-Man universe. You have to stop trying to make them anti-heroes.
Don't fuck up Craven. Please don't
No,
fuck
no,
up
no.
Craven.
What's it called?
Oh, God,
Make
no.
no. Hold on. Before we get to Craven, right? Make a villain story. Do what the Joker did. Right?
Exactly.
Make a villain story. Forget about that trying to be a hero. Make them bad. Make them be bad for a not even a good reason. Like make them have a reason why they're bad and focus on that. Stop trying to do this like heroism and villains type of thing. Make your villains, focus on them, write them good. Make sure that when you do the CGI, as great as this was, make sure that it's actually accurate or like connected to something that's visually right.
Yeah, I think.
And then you'll have a hit.
Yeah. So take note, Sony. There's definitely a lot you could have done, and yeah, just hoping that future projects are not of this quality and of not of this shitty caliber. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap for the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And we'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.
Peace.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I